Let's go, adult human females. Welcome to the lab of aesthetic climatology. Is it hot in here, or is the world just like this now? Let's discuss this, and by discuss, I mean you sit quietly and I'll tell you what to think. But hold on. I'm a transgender woman, and I've never claimed to have a normal female karyotype, and yet my friends, lovers, and most strangers call me she, her, miss, ma'am, girlfriend, ladies. Good girl, just like that. Don't stop, don't stop. Are all of us deluded about my biology? No. Many sleepless nights have I lingered in all the great libraries of Europe, scrutinizing volumes ancient and modern, in search of the answer to two fundamental questions. What are traps? And be they gay? If you're new to using singular they, it is a little confusing at first, but with some practice it gets pretty easy. They poured milk on me, I poured milk on them, they did anoint themselves in their milk, and it was good, thus saith the Lord. You think men treat me as their equal? You think street harassers are gonna treat me with dignity and respect because I have a Y chromosome? Hey, beautiful. Where you going, baby? Where you going? Oh, it's tranny. Excuse me, sir, my mistake. Please proceed freely to your destination. Can I confess something kind of dark to you? I have this really fucked up fetish where I want a boy to put his penis in my vagina. Crazy, right? I mean, I like anal, but the gross thing about anal is you have to eat well. Ew, I don't want to eat well. I want to shove garbage into my mouth hole and get dicked. Is that a crime? I got called sir last week by the cashier at H&M. Not that I usually deign to shop at H&M, but needless to say, it was a desperate emergency. And by emergency, I mean I met a cute busboy at P.F. Chang's. And what happened next stays between me and the Lord, but suffice to say that my blouse was irrevocably drenched in... Okay, I embellished the story a little. He wasn't cute. I like the edgy stuff. I like being on the edge. Hi, my name is Natalie Wynn, and I enjoy edging. Of course, transphobic radical feminists will say it's not a real vagina, just a fuckhole, because a real vagina is a sacred passage. And that's fine by me. What am I gonna do with a sacred passage anyway? Get fingered by the Pope? Pass. Straight men don't get hung up on this. I guarantee you no straight man has ever thought of a vagina as a sacred passage. They're either grossed out by it or they're trying to climb inside. Part 2 of the essay describes a phenomenon I'll call the angry jack effect. It works like this. You're at a barbecue shoving brisket into your front hole when you notice the person seated next to you declines to eat any meat because they're vegan. In my previous video, Nasty T-Babe Likes It Rough, I made an argument about why it's correct to call trans women she. Sometimes I'm so goddamn beautiful it makes me want to throw up! Is a war crime funny? Well, according to the Geneva Convention, it's hilarious. This time, I want to really engage with gender-critical ideas in the public arena of free speech, open communication, dialogue, conversation, debate, idea, marketplace, expression, discourse. Sure, philosophers can say, but how do we know the sun will rise tomorrow? To which the correct response is, shut the fuck up, nerd, stop playing 3D chess against your own brain, and find a real thing to worry about. Imagine that this is the Earth. This is what the Earth would look like if you stabbed it with a giant knife. Excuse me, sir, do you have a moment to talk about my womanhood? Sure. Go ahead. Touch it. I mean, trans women do bleed, but only when we cut ourselves. No one knows what it's like to be a sad trans. When you feel bad, you want to listen to sad music, because sad music makes you cry, and crying feels good. It's like an orgasm for sad people. Before I transitioned, I was a cross-dresser, and I didn't present super womanly either, like fully Dr. Frankenfurter. And that's why I'm so iconic. I showed the world that in 2 years, you can transition from literally Dr. Frankenfurter to a very real, very biological drag queen. But even when I was that baritone-voiced transvestite, I still got semi-regular messages from men being like, so I'm a straight man, but I'm like really attracted to you when you dress as a woman, and it's really making me question my sexuality. Now, I could flatter myself with some kind of retcon and be like, well, maybe those men just picked up on my inherently womanly female energy essence that I've always had since I was born a female biological soul trapped in the body of a cross-dressing baby. But let's be real. There are straight men who fuck cross-dressers. There are straight men who fuck drag queens. There are straight identifying men who fuck other straight identifying men. What is going on here? Straight men, what is your deal? Who are you? What is your life? So what you do is you lash out at the vegan and you tell them, oh, so you think you're better than me, huh? Well, I'll have you know that eating meat is perfectly natural and evolution, and people who don't eat meat, well, their bones fall out, and besides, you're a hypocrite anyway, because more animals die when they plow the fields for your stupid fucking vegetables, you moral jerk. And I get to call it my sex change operation, but cis people don't get to call it that, because it's my darkness, not yours. Get your own darkness. Dingbats like Ben Shapiro have to exert conscious effort to continue the charade of misgendering them.
The transgender woman from Orange is the New Black.
I never watched that show.
I've never watched that show either, but she's on the cover of Time magazine.
Oh.
Or he's on the cover of Time magazine.
I sold my soul to a Sudanese businessman, and all I got in return was this shitty ketamine habit. I suppose you were just sticking to the facts. I suppose sir is a strictly biological term. Queen Guinevere said in days of old, I knight thee, Lancelot, thou that art stereotypically male. Self-deprecating humor is my personal favorite because as a lazy, selfish, preening attention whore who looks like a slightly more passable Ann Coulter with the voice of a tropical bird, there's a lot of material here to work with. I'm afraid I have some bad news. The tests are back and are showing that, in the medical terminology, your vagina does indeed suck. You know, our children are coming of age in this Orwellian nightmare where you can face consequences for simply having a politically incorrect opinion about the Jewish question. It's PC run amok. It's a Hanukkah catastrophe. Well, I assure you there will be no taking of your free speech on this channel. Unless you clock my makeup, dickbag, comment deleted. The receptionist at the sperm bank turned to me and said, right this way, Natalie. Here's a cup for you to bust a nut in. And that's how my life as a woman began. Because even though straight men are like, ew, dicks, that's gay. You guys also kind of love dicks. You're always drawing them. Your buildings look like dicks. Your porn all has dicks in it. So what about dicks on chicks? Well, men like chicks and men like dicks, so what's the problem, officer? Even if you only care about yourself, you do realize that when the coastal cities flood, we're gonna have to take in tens of millions of refugees, right? Are you gonna be okay with that? No. Well, then you'd better do something to reduce carbon emissions. No. Well, then you'd better be ready to take in a lot of refugees. No. Listen, sweaty. First of all, my girly voice is very fucking real. I spent most of my 20s on the threshold of alcoholism, but it turns out that's not a cute look for me. It's not my vibe. So what I do now when I feel the darkness coming is what any respectable woman would do. I take a Xanax and lie on the floor for a couple hours. Is it a pee under my mattress, Your Majesty? Or is it another Xanax I left under the throw rug? A lesson in penis etiquette. A gentleman need not be coy about his penis. He may flaunt, he may brandish, he may tug, he may penetrate, he may order you to get on your knees like a good girl and Whereas, it is a truth universally acknowledged that a lady of good breeding never brandishes her penis. When she rises from the bath, she covers it gracefully with a demure hand, and when not in use, she keeps it carefully stowed away. How am I supposed to care about rising sea levels when there's Muslims out there? And Mexicans? There could be Muslim Mexicans for all I know. John McClane is feminine in expression, but a man in identity, whereas I am a woman in identity, and in expression, I am a mess. If I die tomorrow, my legacy will be that I applied wine-tasting terminology to fellatio, and I accept my destiny. I mean, I'll give it a try. Solanus be praised. No nails, no makeup. I'm wearing a nice little gender-neutral robe moment. I did it, everyone. I abolished gender. Well, I guess long hair is still a gender signifier, so I should probably get rid of that. How is she, though? She's feeling a little genderless. The world is not ending. It's just getting shittier. Well, what am I supposed to do about it? Let's watch an instructional video to learn more. All right, let me just re-up here. All right, Doc. Put it in me. You are repulsive. Well, I'm so sorry you're offended by pleasure. I'm not offended by... What? This offends you, doesn't it? Are you triggered, liberal? Are you triggered? No, I'm not triggered. Stop trying to pretend you're not owned. I look inside myself and ask, do I feel like a man or a woman? And after all these years, the answer is still that I feel like shit. I'm so sorry you can't handle that I'm natural fish. I'm ahi tuna and you're mackerel sweaty. Take a fucking sip, babes. It's kind of like how some art and media critics only ever evaluate a work based on whether or not it's socially progressive and don't seem to really think about aesthetic pleasure very much, which to me is the reason why art exists in the first place. But then again, I am a hedonistic bourgeois decadent and should probably be sent to the guillotine at once. Just let me do my makeup first so that when they hold my head up, everyone can see my beat and their wigs all fly to the Bastille. Also, someone please post the video to my Instagram, cause that's gonna get a lot of engagement.
Then I think that is not only lying to her, I think it's confusing her, and I think it's damaging to her psyche.
Oh yes, the classic argument. How do I explain to my child? Kill your shitty child for all I care. That's simply not my problem. I regret every night I spent with you, Ben Shapiro. I'm in a new relationship now with a lesbian. You and I are through. I'm getting an abortion and you can't stop me. I'm just trying to assimilate into a pre-existing female gender role. As you can see by the normal way I'm dressed. The traditional female garb of my culture. No! So, if I do fuck something up, well, just read me to filth on Twitter like you always do, you little shits. Love you!